Welcome to the Gyms Podcast. I'm your host, Joel Kleber, and this podcast is designed to share stories of our franchisees, franchisors, Jim himself, and other members of the Gyms family that we think you might find interesting. If you are researching our brand, we've got a previous back catalogue. There's so many great episodes that you can find online. And if you do like what you hear, please make sure you leave us a thumbs up on YouTube if you're watching, or online as well. We really do appreciate the support. Without further ado, here's today's episode. So Jess, thank you very much for joining us for our Gyms podcast and our core series of interviews where we reward franchisees with 2 complimentary nights at any Accor hotel across Australasia. So congratulations to yourself, and maybe do you want to let us know why you nominated yourself and tell us a bit about yourself as well.
I nominated myself because I just hit 101 5-star reviews, no complaints, and what month are we in now? I'm in my 5th month, I think.
So 5th month already, 105-star reviews, which is fantastic. So how do you achieve that level of service? What do you do differently, you think, to maybe other business providers?
I wouldn't say I do things differently, but I like to take my time to get to know the clients, and I spend my time. A lot of my feedback is that I take time to get to know the animals, the dogs, and I ask lots of questions, and people seem to be happy with my work in a caring way.
And what were you doing prior to Jim's Dog Wash?
I was cleaning hospital theatres.
Really? That's a very unique job. So what prompted the change for you, or how did you find out about Jim's Dog Wash?
I was pretty unhappy in my role. I was missing my family. Everyone would get home and then I would leave. And I was running on about 3 hours sleep every day. My kids have busy activity lives and I needed something to work around them. I've never known what I wanted to do with my life. And I got a dog a few years ago and I realised that she made me so happy, and I didn't really realise that I loved dogs as much as I did. And I actually saw a Facebook ad pop up that got my thoughts thinking about dog grooming, but it took me a while. I did reach out, I spoke to Sharon, and I did do a trial day, and then I still waited probably another 6 months before I took the leap.
And what type of dog do you have, first of all?
I have a blue heeler.
Blue heeler.
So I don't have to groom her.
You don't have to groom her too much. But what is it about the blue heeler that ignited your passion for dogs? Because that's quite interesting to hear that.
She just made me happy. I spent a lot of time with her because I was working night shift and then I was home alone during the day with her. And I just so enjoyed working with her. I trained her really hard still do, but in the beginning I spent all my time training her and I couldn't believe how smart she was. And they're so loyal and affectionate, and they listen. They can't talk back, but they listen. They definitely know what you're saying.
Absolutely. And how did you find the training experience overall? So after 6 months, you've decided to come and do the training. So how did you find that whole thing, going from a completely unrelated field into what you were doing?
It was daunting. The dog training or the training in Melbourne?
Let's say the training in Melbourne first, and then talk about the dog grooming training specifically.
My husband came with me, which was good because I don't have any background in business, or it was a lot of information to take in, but I felt like it was done gently. I wasn't as overwhelmed as I thought I would be. The food was amazing.
Food is good.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot. It was good to hear people's stories. I take a lot out of hearing from other franchisees and how they run things. And I actually listened to your podcast a lot while I was working in the theatres before I decided to join, which helped my decision, to be honest.
Well, I remember you now because you mentioned that about dog wash. There's no dog wash, so we're going to have a dog wash on there now with yourself. So that's cool. You're going to be on one of those episodes. But thanks for letting us know about that. So you've done the Melbourne training, and then you go and do the Jim's dog wash and grooming specific training. So how was that experience overall? Because it's a completely new challenge for you. So how did you find that whole experience overall?
Yeah, that was a little bit more overwhelming. There's so much more involved than I realized. And you learn everything about the grooming side of things and learn everything about your trailer. You got to learn everything about taking leads, making appointments. All that stuff was a lot to take in. My trainer, Michelle, was amazing, and she doesn't mess around. So she didn't give me a choice to be scared. Straight to the point. Yeah, super helpful. She's still super helpful. We still always have questions to ask and things to learn. But yeah, everyone's super helpful.
And let's talk about the washing and grooming component, because it could be, as you said, quite daunting and a lot to learn. So how have you found, obviously you got really good, you do great work because the customers love what you do. So maybe just want to talk about, is there something where you've just learnt the basic skills, got out and applied and got better, or how have you sort of become an expert at it so quickly? Because you obviously do a fantastic job. So you got that many 5-star reviews. So you got 100 5-star reviews in like 5 to 6 months. So you obviously smashing it. So how are you so good at what you do? Maybe it's probably the better question. Is there something where you just take your time more, or is there something where you watch constantly things maybe in a different breed that you haven't done before, or how do you deliver such a great job?
I watch lots of videos.
Yep.
I'm always watching videos, trying to pick up things. I ask a lot of questions. But yeah, sometimes you get jobs that frustrate you. You make you feel like you're not doing the best job. But yeah, like I said, my trainer was so good, and I don't know. I enjoy it so much that you want to learn more, and you want to deliver the best outcome you can for your clients. So I always ask questions. I even ask them to send me photos of what they would like, without guaranteeing that that's how the dog's going to come out. But you want some kind of idea what people want. I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Well, we'll obviously do a fantastic job, so it's a credit to whatever you're doing. It's working really well. Now, in terms of common question we always see, and you probably get as well, like people might say, my dog's really aggressive, or my dog can't be groomed. How do you tackle those sort of customers and those sorts of dogs?
I don't turn anyone down. I always tell them I'm willing to give it a go. I have had a few dog people say that they've had bad experience with groomers and their dogs won't let me do this or let me do that. I take it really slow with those dogs. I spend a lot of time with them. I make sure that I've got the time to spend time with them outside the trailer first, and then slowly introduce them to the trailer and touch and everything. I probably take more time than other franchisees, probably good and bad, but I don't want to make the experience any worse for them. And you want those customers returning, so you want them to know that you've put in the time to listen to them and their dog's needs. Yeah, and sometimes you get dogs that don't want you to do certain things, and I don't push them past their threshold in the hopes that the client will have me back and we can slowly build. I've definitely built relationships with dogs where in the beginning I wasn't able to touch their tail or touch their paws, and now we're slowly getting to that point because they trust me and they know that I'm not going to hurt them.
Mm-hmm. And what are some common mistakes that owners are making that are you seeing? Are they leaving it, like they're not brushing their dogs regularly to keep maintenance and they just expect you to fix it all? Or what are some common pitfalls that customers don't do with their dogs, or they should be doing at least?
Yeah, they think we're magicians. They don't realise just how bad of condition their dog's in. I quite often hear, oh, they've got a few knots when they're matted down to the skin. There's a whole lot of oodles out there now, and a whole lot of owners that don't know how to maintain their coats. And we're also, life is tough for everyone at the moment, so I think grooming gets pushed down the list of bills to pay, which unfortunately dogs' hair still grows, and then we're getting dogs in that are going to take double the amount of time. It's going to hurt the dog, and it's going to cost them more money, and then they leave it long again because they don't want to pay that amount. You try and teach them that if they brush their dogs regularly and maintain their grooming schedule, it won't be such a long slog or an expensive appointment.
Absolutely. And I think, well, hopefully people start reprioritising their pets more than other things. Because I think the pets, they're like a family member, so hopefully they can not leave that last and put that maybe top of the list. But as you said, save a lot of money by helping, do the regular thing which they can do, which you can obviously advise them as well, don't you? Do you advise that to your clients when you do it? Like, let's say you might come across a dog which hasn't been looked after too well in regards to its coat, and you might give them some advice to do once you hand them back. Yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk about the products you use. So is there any particular types of shampoos or anything like that, or products that you find work better that you prefer to use for your business?
I'm using Petway products at the moment, and I came across a lovely local lady who gave me a sample of some oodle shampoo she's created called Goodles. I'm finding that really handy. It loosens up the mats on the oodle breeds when you wash them in that, and there's a detangling spray as well that I'm finding super helpful to try and limit shaving dogs down to their skin.
And do you sell products as well out of your trailer, or
No.
you don't sell the products? Yeah. Now, what other services do you provide besides the by washing and grooming? Do you do nails or anything, or are there other types of animals you do, or is it just the grooming and the washing?
Nails are included. I don't do any other animals. I have had lots of requests for cats, but I don't think I'm there yet.
It's not an easy job, the cats. No way.
But I think from what I've heard, it's quite a big market. So it's on my radar, but I think I'll just get more confident with the dogs first. I know some other franchisees are doing rabbits regularly.
I've heard rabbits, guinea pigs sometimes. I've heard of guinea pig. Some do horses as well, I've heard. So, yeah, there's everything. But, yeah, cats got to have that arm protection, because I've seen a few scratches when I've gone and filmed with some franchisees, and I've asked them what that is, and unfortunately a cat. So charge appropriately. Charge that danger money. But I was gonna say as well, though, with going from a lifestyle where you've had that night shift, then trying to run a household, how's it been overall going to what you're doing now?
It's amazing. I am working a lot more hours than I was working before, but I don't feel like I'm working. And at the moment, I'm still working around my school pickups and drop-offs and kids' activities. Sometimes I work later in the evening, but I'm always home at dinner and bed, and I'm around so much more. Everyone is so much happier. And even days when I've been out for 12 hours, I'm still coming home with a smile on my face. I used to be so miserable in my last job.
It's great to hear. And are you happy with the level of income you're making as well?
Yeah. It's comfortable, but I know that I just need to get through this first year. Family circumstances change next year with my school drop-offs and stuff, with my youngest going into high school. So I'm gearing up for a better income next year.
That's great. And how many jobs do you roughly do a day?
I do 4 to 5 a day.
Yep.
Depends. Grooms take longer. I'm still probably not grooming as fast as my trainer probably would like me to, but you can smash out washes.
But in saying that, you're getting fantastic results. So, sometimes it's better to take the time to do the really well job to get that great service as opposed to
Yeah, and the reviews are super helpful because it's hard not to be a perfectionist, and when you're in the trailer with the dog, you could probably keep going for hours and hours and still not be satisfied with your job. And then you send the dog back and the clients are so happy. And I've had clients that have taken the time to send me a text personally to thank me for their work a couple of days later, and they've recommended me to their friends, and I've got a lot of jobs that way.
It must make you feel good. Referrals are obviously the best thing for any business. And I was going to say as well, with you, do you want to just make it clear for people the difference between mobile grooming salon and an actual site-based salon? What's the benefits to using a mobile dog groom if they're not already aware of them?
We come to you, so I couldn't imagine taking my dog and dropping her off for a whole day somewhere. She wouldn't cope. And it's just me and your dog in that trailer. It's one-on-one. I have the time to get to know your dog, build a relationship with your dog. They haven't been in a salon, whether they're caged or not, I'm not sure, but there's no time for them to get above threshold before I'm spending time with them. It's straight in the trailer, cuddles, hugs, get in the bath, process. We get it done as fast as we can, but also taking our time. I like to read dogs. I think I've had a lot of clients that have said they don't want to send their dogs to salons anymore. They want the dogs to be happy they're coming back scared and exhausted. And you get to sit inside and have a cup of coffee while your dog's being groomed, and then a knock on your door and the job's done.
Absolutely, yes. It makes so much more sense. The water's warm as well. The trailers are fantastic, so customers might be surprised by how good the trailers are inside. And
I have a lot of customers come out to check it out. A lot of them can't believe we have air conditioning and heating in there, and or that we have hot water. I get asked that a lot.
Yeah, it's all about the comfort of the dog, and that trailer is obviously always getting improved and stuff. But yeah, it's a fantastic trailer if customers don't know about it. But also, as you said, if you've got a dog who might have a bit of anxiety or something like that, taking him to the groomer could be very, like let's say a site-based one could make them very anxious and a lot of stress and issues and stuff like that. Whereas with you guys coming around, it just makes it far easier.
Yeah, and there's lots of dogs that don't like going in cars. So it might not be the salon that they don't like, but there's so many dogs that just don't like being in cars. So I've had a fair few clients who have needed a mobile site dog wash because they can't take their dogs in the car at all. They just hit thresholds straight away.
Absolutely. And I was going to say as well, what are your favourite types of breeds to groom? Is there any particular types of dogs that you like when you see that type of breed, or you meet them that sort of lights you up a bit? What do you like?
This is a tricky one because I've become fans of breeds that I didn't think that I liked. I really like the poodles. They're really sweet dogs and they're super smart. Schnauzers, I find I like to groom them. I find their grooms easy. But I can't go past like a border collie and Goldens. They have so much personality. They're big silks, but I love grooming them. They're always a mess when they come in because they're just always rolling in stuff, and they've got their long feathers and stuff, and then you wash them and you blow dry and you brush them out and they just sparkle. I find it so satisfying.
I had a lady the other day said golden retrievers was her favourite as well, or one of her favourites as well. So, yeah, quite a common answer. Yeah. Do you have any advice for someone maybe who was in your position, who was maybe thinking about doing the gym's business? What advice would you maybe have for them? Or because it can be quite daunting to make that change from a stable employment with a family and stuff as well. So maybe what's some advice for them that you would have?
I ask questions. I ask so many questions. I listen to your podcast. I watch so many YouTube videos that you guys have. I went on Instagram and I found, obviously, I was looking into dog wash. So I found other Jim's Dog Wash franchisees on Instagram in other states as well, and I messaged them and I asked them if they're happy, if they enjoy their work, do they have any regrets? And I got nothing but positive feedback and honest feedback, and it really helped seal the deal for me. And everyone was super helpful. I could message Sharon as much as I want with the most silliest questions, and she would answer them all.
I'm glad to hear that, Jess. I'm glad to hear you did your research that much. That's really important for franchisees. And thank you, and well done for your customer service writing. It's quite a credit to you to achieve so many results so quickly. Jim will be rapt to hear that. And on behalf of us at Jim's, we're going to get this to you. Generally 5 business days it takes, but basically it's 2 complimentary nights to any hotel brands such as Sofitel, Pullman, Novotel, anything Accor. There's like 1,400. Up to 50% of your dining bill at over 1,400 hotel restaurants across Asia Pacific, so which is always good. 15% of drinks, and there's a whole bunch of benefits in the silver membership as well. So it's worth around $700. So after this, we'll get an email shot to you, and we'll sign you up for that. But once again, thank you for joining us today and for sharing your story. And now you've got your own Jim's podcast episode for dog wash. So I remember you saying to me we didn't have any dog wash, so we've got a lot of dog wash now, and you'll be one of them with John Egan and a few others. So thanks for joining me today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the episode of the Gyms podcast. If you want to learn more about the Gyms Group, head to gyms.net or call us on 131 546 Australia or 0800 454 654 New Zealand. And if you did like the episode as well, please make sure you leave a review or a comment or a thumbs up or a comment on the video as well. We appreciate your support. And until next episode, we hope you have a great week.